Hello, everyone. Is this thing on? Sorry, this is our first time ever doing something like this.
Say hi, baby. Hi.
I'm Mike.
I'm Nikki.
Welcome to my channel. This is the very first YouTube vid I've ever put up. I never thought I'd ever be doing this, mind you. But the other day, a friend of mine, Ronnie, he has a channel on YouTube, Run Ron Mower. If you love classic gaming, check him out. He's awesome. He asked me to record a couple of videos with him, and so I did. I won't say what. I don't want to spoil what he's doing next, but it gave me the confidence, and my lovely lady right here, yes, she is my fiance. Be jealous.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I'm a ham. I'm just shooting from the hip here.
He is a ham.
Yeah. And if you subscribe to me, which if you do, you're awesome, you'll see that. What was I talking about?
Ronnie.
Okay. Well, anyway, she came up with the idea, why don't we do something ourselves? And I figured, well, to be honest, I am a little lazy about going out and getting capture software and all that stuff, but I know. She says she'll do it all and whatnot, and you can get stuff for free, maybe someday.
I offered.
Right now, we're just having fun here. I've been on YouTube for a long time, so I've seen a lot worse than what I'm seeing in this picture right now.
Video.
And no, my glasses don't look like this. That is glare from my window.
The only problem is you can't see without them.
No, like right now, Eddie looks like food I stepped on.
Eddie. Oh, and your shirt. I thought you meant in the poster.
As you can tell, I love Iron Maiden. You could probably tell by the look in my room that I'm
Thanks, Lord.
The wall is over there.
You got Link up there. I don't know if you can really see him up on the bookcase.
My room is pretty much a nerd's dream.
The reindeer is mine, obviously.
If you love gaming and you love music, it's a nerd's dream. Well, this channel really is going to be just us talking about stuff we want to talk about, at least at the moment. Maybe someday we'll learn some skills and.
Well, I do want to do the Pokemon thing.
Yeah,
my channel.
She is huge on Pokemon, so she is very, very excited.
You ever need info?
And I just realized, blooper reel time, I forgot to turn my heat off.
He forgets a lot of things.
See that's the good thing about me being lazy and not having any editing skills, is that you'll get to see me in the raw form.
Oh, and one more thing, since this will be either on our days off or when we get off of work, 9 times out of 10, we will be in our PJs.
That's right.
FYI.
Because if I don't have to, I don't get dressed.
And as you can tell, he is a huge Zelda nerd.
We have already been out today to vote. In fact, that'll be interesting, remembering that the first time we ever did this was on the date of the 2016 presidential election.
God help us.
I will most likely forget that fact, but don't worry. She's a woman. Women know everything, right?
Most of the time.
But here's a question, though. And all you men out there, you've probably asked this a million times yourself. A woman's always right, right?
Normally.
Okay. So if a man tells her she's right, is he wrong?
I don't know.
See? I stumped her.
But I didn't say you were right either. I didn't say anything either way.
They always got you. Little kids, if you're watching, covering your ears, they always got you by the balls.
Gotta keep them in line somehow.
Well, let's see. What are we going to talk about today? I kind of like this now that we've started. And I actually don't look too bad.
Why are you playing with your cheeks?
I don't know. They're fun to play with. Okay, well, since this was your idea, you said you wanted to talk about Pokemon.
On my channel.
No, you don't want to talk about it here? Why don't you talk about it here?
I don't know what to talk about. I mean, I am excited for the new game, Sun and Moon, which, if anyone is a huge Pokemon fan, get them. They look amazing. They went, at least it looks like they went all out this time. From the footage I've seen, you can snap pictures. They are bringing Red and Blue back from the original, which is awesome. They're supposed to be grown up, but they still kind of look like teenagers to me, so that's a little meh. Interestingly enough, I actually saw a meme on Facebook where it has red. Is it red or blue? No, blue is Gary, I think. Anyways, the silent one, the one who never talks. It has something like, as kids, I captured the Pokemon, and now as an adult, I'm capturing your girlfriend or something. I don't know. It was weird. You make it in front of me?
Yes, I'm making fun of you.
This guy right here, I don't even know.
Apparently, I talk with my hands a lot too.
Anyways, well, there I go. Flapping the hand. Thanks to this one, I will have both games. The other thing is too is with the games coming out. If you have not gotten the demo, I suggest you do so, because you can get Ash's Greninja, which is awesome looking. And if you pre-order, you're supposed to be able to get a special Munchlax that when it evolves to Snorlax, you can use its Z-Power, which makes it look totally demonic and awesome at the same time. Yeah.
All I know is that the new Snorlax, Z-Power, or whatever it is, looks cool. After 20 years or however long it's been, he's finally getting up. They're going to wish he was asleep when you see what he can do.
For something other more than eating.
Yeah.
This one likes Snorlax, by the way, and Jigglypuff.
Yeah, they're my favorite. I don't know why.
And Team Rocket.
Because one likes to see. I love them.
Jesse and James, they're classics.
I love how whenever they show up, they're the bad guys. They should show up. Yeah, they should try to hide the fact that they're showing up or be a little more sneaky about it. Yet every time they show up, at least from what I've seen, which isn't much, they always show up in this humongous balloon that has Meowth's face right on it. Why don't they just have a friggin' bullhorn going, "The Team Rocket incoming!"
Well, remember, in the movie, they also had the Magikarp submarine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you saw that movie. It was one of them.
She loves to make fun of me when we play Smash Brothers and Goldeen shows up.
Yeah.
Talk like him.
Goldeen.
I'm totally in love with her, in case you know.
What else have we seen of footage for? There's been so much stuff. I love the final forms for the starters. I love the starters themselves.
I like the little kitten.
I had high hopes for the water type. Since Red and Blue, I have always been a water type fan. That's usually what I start out with. But since I'm getting both of them, I will be starting out with the water. Who, unfortunately, I forget his name. And for him,
Litten.
Because that's the cat.
I know. You said you were going to...
Because he won't play it himself. I don't know why. He's weird like that.
I've never been into...
Well, what a good way to get started, right? Right? Anyways, since he will not be playing it himself, I think he said he wants Moon. I will be using Litten as my starter type. He's also a huge cat fan.
Matter of fact, let me go get him. There's someone else who may appear on this channel you're going to want to meet.
He means our cat Eddie. He can be a bit of a brat sometimes, but what cat can't?
Yeah, we clipped his claws earlier today, so he might still be a little mad at us.
There he is.
Yeah,
hi, buddy.
Say hi to YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
This is Eddie. He's a little over 2 years old. He's looking at my window like he wants to go in there. I have the shade down right now so it doesn't glare in here.
Yeah, don't be surprised if sometime when we're recording we don't stop and kick him out because he's doing something he's not supposed to.
He is the most lovable cat ever.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he can also be the biggest pain in the butt.
And also don't be surprised if he actually jumps up on the laptop one of these days and gets in the way.
Or knocks it over and you just see the whole thing go sideways. He's like that.
So I probably just guaranteed about 10 subscribers right there if there's going to be a cat. No, honestly, I don't care.
All right. Off track, but okay. So yeah, I will admit, he also pre-ordered the strategy guide for me. I'm going to try not to use it, but with there being so much in this game, no promises. If you're interested, though, at some point, when I do get the games, which I believe they're coming out on the 18th, so a little less than 2 weeks.
Got Beatles coming out there.
On my own channel, which I won't mention it right now because it's not completely
She's
set
still
up.
working on it.
Yeah.
We both literally just started. Just decided to start.
Well, I'll have the name of my channel in a different video. But I will hopefully be doing some Sun and Moon on there, as well as maybe some other Pokemon games. I have all 3 of the original on my 3DS. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get the gameplay. Because, as he said, we don't have any of the equipment. The capture cards or none of it. This is webcams, what you get. I might try to use my camera on my phone. Not sure how I'm going to set it up. I'll figure it out.
Basically, at the moment, if we do any gameplay vids, we're going to harken back to the good old days of 2006, 2007, when half the LPs on YouTube were used of webcam. So Slow Beef and Diabetes, I know you don't do the classic Retsu praise anymore, but we'll give you a couple to riff on.
But yes, I am hoping that I will be able to do some Pokemon gameplay on my channel. Maybe even some other games. I also play Yokai.
She's in the process right now of playing Majora's Mask 3D.
Yes. Corpse Party, which I don't know if many of you are familiar with. Although for that, I do kind of ask for the younger audiences, maybe.
That
so much.
It looks cool though.
So yeah, mine's gonna be try to be more gameplay, Pokemon / other things. Won't be the greatest video footage, but like he said, we're just doing this as.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, for me as a gamer, my favorite is The Legend of Zelda, and I am really, really looking forward to Breath of the Wild. Yes.
Does PJ say it all?
Yes. And I got pillowcases, everything. I got a wallet, that's Zelda.
Courtesy of me.
Yeah.
For Christmas last year, I actually bought him the complete set.
So, as a matter of fact, I'm in the process, because I never really had a lot of handhelds growing up, so I missed out on the DS Zelda games. So thanks to it being on the Wii U Virtual Console, I've been playing Spirit Tracks, liking it very much. But I'm on the edge of my seat for Breath of the Wild. You can ask her, when we first got a look at it, I almost creamed myself.
It does look really good. And
finally, after all this time, an open world Zelda game. It's going to be so good.
That was the other thing. For all you Pokemon fans, it has not been confirmed or denied, but there has been a rumor for the Nintendo Switch, which we're both excited for. There could possibly be an open world Pokemon game.
Now, this is a rumor that I read before the Switch was even announced. But seeing what the Switch is, that it's a console and a handheld, I think it would be a natural. Because when people think Pokemon games, they think handheld. So, I think...
Myself, if it's an open world, I kind of hope they go back to the Pokemon Snap days, where you can go around, just take the pictures. That was my favorite 64 game.
I enjoyed watching him
besides play. Pokemon Stadium. I might even have some footage of that, because he has it on the Wii, so, yeah.
Yeah, and, another thing I'm really hoping for on the Switch is a new Metroid game. I know I'm not the only one, because Metroid's kind of an interesting, and that's another thing. We'll be talking about a lot of gaming stuff on this channel. It's gaming and music are the two things I love most.
More music for him.
Most in the world. So yes, gaming, music as well. I might do a top 10 list. I might, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff we can do.
Oh, look at that. You can actually kind of see on the shelf right by the purple jar I don't think you can really see it, but in the front, it's a clay Mew, and then beside it, I have a clay Mewtwo.
What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Metroid. Metroid's a weird series, because you had the first one on the NES, then you had the second one on the Game Boy, you had the third one, right? Super Metroid was the third one, yes. And then it kind of went into hibernation, and they missed the 64. A lot of people forget that. They didn't do one on the 64. And the GameCube Metroid Prime came out. Now, admittedly, I'm not big into first-person shooters, so I kind of initially skipped on the Prime games. Big mistake. When I got the Metroid Prime trilogy a couple of years ago, and amazing. Usually motion controls I don't really like, but the precise movement with the Wiimote aiming was fantastic. And then I played Other M. I could make a whole video talking about that game. Let me tell you.
Maybe you should.
As a game, okay.
He didn't like it.
I have my reasons. As a game, it was okay. It tried to follow in the footsteps of Super Metroid. It had all the things you would expect. Ridley was in it. Spoiler, Phantoon was in it. But here's the thing. Samus is supposed to be a badass, silent bounty hunter who doesn't take orders from anyone. I mean, I get she works with the Galactic Federation and everything, but she's kind of a loner. Like Boba Fett with boobies. You know what I mean? However, in that game, for
That's an
anyone
interesting concept.
for anyone that hasn't played, I bet I Google it. I'm sure there's art out there somewhere. There she goes. DeviantArt has it all. There is a mechanic in the game I can't stand. Samus's commander, or at least the one that she's supposed to, her boss in this game, whatever, is Adam Malkovich. The relationship between the two of them is kind of the heart of the game. And the whole epic, this and all that stuff, Any objections, lady? If that was the first Metroid game in the series, or even the first big 3D one, okay, that would be fine. But the problem is we got spoiled as hell with the Prime games. All three of them were amazing. Yep. Girls cosplaying as Boba Fett. I mean, need I say more?
That actually looks kind of badass, though.
Need I say more? What would you call her? Whatever. I'm getting off track here. Not that the thing's ever been on track. We have like a million tracks and we're constantly switching. But
Oh my.
well, she's lost.
I can't put the rest on here. Those are not really suitable.
Anyways, usually in Metroid games, Samus finds her own upgrades, and you're at your own wits to find them, with very few hints usually. In that game, however, you cannot use something until Commander Malkovich tells you can. Samus, you can use this now. Samus, why don't you use this? Now, for someone who's had played all the Metroid games up until that point, I don't think I had played Fusion and Zero Mission yet, but I have since, and loved them both. I've played, I think, every single one except the one on the Game Boy, and Hunters, which, I had the chance to download it, I didn't bother. And Federation Force is not a Metroid game. Sorry, it's not.
Your opinion.
My opinion. That's another thing. IMO. Always. Remember that. However, this game, it undermined her badassery so much. The fact that you had to get permission from this guy, this new guy, to use your own. And if you think, and again, spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it, towards the end of the game you fight Queen Metroid, which is cool. I like that because the Queen Metroid hasn't been in a game since Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, as far as I know. So it was cool to see her in all her glory. However, after the first part of the fight, she swallows you, and you're inside her stomach. Bad girl. And you only have about 5 seconds in real time to do something. I died so many times, I had no idea what to do.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I had no idea what to do. I had to look it up. When a game forces me to look something up, I mean, it's one thing if it's a side quest and you're like, I don't.
I made you do that a couple of times, actually.
No, just that once.
That's right. I looked up the other thing.
That was the original Metroid Prime. I was stuck in the snow area, but I figured that out myself. So those games were good. So I finally had to look it up. And you know what I found? I looked it up in multiple places because I couldn't believe what I read. I read that the game never actually tells you, but at that moment you can use power bombs to blow your way out. The game never even tells you this. How the was I supposed to know that? Geez, Adam, why couldn't you? I mean, I know at that point I think he's supposed to be dead, but still, why couldn't someone tell me? Or even Samus go, pull a Solid Snake and talk to herself. Like, I should use my power bomb. Stupid. But as insulting as that was, there was one more thing about the game that insulted me more. I try not to swear in my videos out of respect for other people. I might swear here. The Ridley fight, or at least the first time you see him. One of the greatest rivalries in gaming history is Samus and Ridley. And that moment, you always anticipate when Ridley's going to show up. And you hear that awesome music, that boom, 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 boom. It's so awesome. When he first shows up in Other M, keep in mind, at this point, she had already beaten him twice. If you look at the chronology of the series, she beat him in the first Metroid and in Super Metroid. So this is at least the third time they've seen each other. So, yeah. Actually, no, well, he wasn't in Metroid 2, I don't think, but she knows him and he knows her. At this point, they got a Luke Darth Vader thing going. They respect each other. Neither one is afraid of each other. Or so I thought. When Ridley shows up, and yes, look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up. It'll scar you for life. When Ridley shows up, Samus cowers from him to the point where it actually cuts to her as a little girl, like cowering. That was the moment, F-bomb approaching, that was the moment where I literally out loud said, fuck this game. It wasn't that long ago. I actually Googled it. Why does Samus cower from Ridley? Apparently, there's manga or something like that where he killed her parents right in front of her when she was little or something like that. Which, yes, okay, I understand. But here's the problem. I can sink that little theory right down the tubes. As far as I know, the manga isn't in the same timeline as the games, but even if it was, she's already fought him multiple times up to this point and beaten him. Why would she be all of a sudden scared? I don't know. If anything, that would piss her off more, and he'd die faster. If I remember, it's been a while. I may never play that game again, so I don't remember. But I think someone saves her ass in that scene. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm not perfect, but I do. It just makes me so mad. She's supposed to be this, but she's basically Master Chief before Master Chief. I know that'll piss off a lot of Halo people, but it's true. Before you had Master Chief, the silent, badass space marine, you had Samus Aran, the silent, badass bounty hunter, who took shit from no one and fought for the good of the galaxy. Until Other M came along. But history's history. As a game, if you've never played Metroid before, it's actually, again, the whole thing with the power bombs is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I'm from the old school mindset. Too much hints, too much hand-holding is a problem in today's games. But
especially the remakes for the Zelda games.
But the thing is, you were given no indication that there's even power bombs in the game. From what they could have even dropped a line like, maybe her asking Adam if she can use power bombs, and he says no, only in emergency situations. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Even that I probably would have picked up on, but that's that. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh,
as you were saying, though, not to interrupt you, the whole thing with the hand holding, unfortunately, with the remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, they do kind of do it in the 3DS versions. I am currently playing Majora's Mask, and they have made it ridiculously easy.
In terms of keeping track of things, it's a lot easier. I noticed they added a fishing hole, which is pretty cool. Letting you skip to the exact time of day you want, I think, is really neat. I heard the Zora swimming kind of sucks. I asked her to actually let me control it a little bit when that happens.
I'm still kind of on the first temple.
In the N64 version, though, man, getting that mask was so awesome. If you could get it on the first day, there is a way to glitch your way over that wall. It's totally worth it to do that because you can swim, dolphin dive, and all that stuff. By the way, if you want to see a good glitch play run of those two Zelda games, go to Swordless Link.
The other thing is with Ocarina of Time, maybe it's just me, but when it comes to fighting Ganondorf at the end and his pig demon, whatever the hell he's supposed to be.
Giant pig.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what he looks like. You're supposed to hit his tail. Well, in the 3DS version, I don't know if it's for everybody's, but it seems like for mine, he is ridiculously fast. So I have been frustrated, and I have actually, for the meantime, rage quit.
In the original N64 version, and I played that game a lot, I always had, it was a piece of cake with him, really. For me, at least.
Everything's a piece of cake for him, but anyway.
Well, not everything. Not everything.
I
almost threw my Wii U gamepad playing the very last level on Yoshi's Woolly World, remember?
Yeah, I actually had to bear hug him to stop.
Was that the last? No, I don't think it was the last level. I think it was...
No, it was that octopus one where you had to do it without getting hit.
That's right. No, wait, that was Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. What I'm referring to is that flying Koopa, I think, in the sky on Woolly World.
Really, I thought it was an octopus.
The boss of the last world before Bowser.
Whatever one it was. I actually had to, yeah.
I did it, though.
Yeah, he did do it. Anyways, the other thing I found most annoying about that game is Zelda. The whole that noise. Yes, that noise gets very annoying. Especially when you're trying to get out of the castle and she's taking her sweet ass time. It's like,
open that door with your skinny ass on.
It's like, dude, the castle's falling apart. Get your fucking ass out that door.
Go back to being Sheik where you could jump around all over the place.
And be useful.
Throw nuts.
I mean,
make flames appear in front of my face.
The whole part where the sword gets knocked out of Link's hand. She couldn't throw that shit back? Seriously? She couldn't pick up that sword and be like, there you go. No.
You'll dance under stress.
You have to fight a whole half of it without the frickin' sword.
I told her to get the big Oran sword, but she didn't. Oh, well. Now, another thing on this channel that we will, at least I like to discuss, is movies. We are big movie fans. One of the most polarizing movies of this year, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Now, oh man, a lot to say about this. When it was first announced, an all-female Ghostbusters, part of me was disappointed that we weren't going to get one with Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson. Of course, Harold Ramis has left us, unfortunately. But I wasn't completely opposed to the idea. I'm not one of those super fanboys that was like, oh, they're all women, it's not going to be good.
Until we saw the trailer.
They did not put their best foot forward, because the trailer, from what I remember, it said something like foresight, like it referenced the original, but then acted like it didn't exist.
Right. How the trailer was set up was that it said something like 20, 30 years ago there was 4 scientists. Now, as we all know, one of them wasn't a scientist, and you can't really include Venkman, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because, come on, he was in it for the women. He wasn't into the whole science thing.
He believed in it. He was just kind of... He would have been fine just sleeping with Sigourney Weaver and then leaving.
And they set it up to where they had saved New York twice, blah, blah, blah. But then it went into where the movie started to be its own thing. So it was like they were trying to do a sequel, but a separate movie all in the same way.
Is this, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
Like, they saved New York twice. Once from a gigantic marshmallow man, and the second, and one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, by the way, they used an NES Advantage to control the Statue of Liberty. How could anyone forget that if this is the same universe?
Maybe the Men in Black got involved.
Yeah, but they're not aliens, they're ghosts. Besides, why would anyone want to forget that? That's awesome. I mean, Lewis saved the day.
Yeah. Anyways, so when you watch, if you haven't already, the movie itself isn't bad. You can't compare it to the originals because you will be disappointed. But as a standalone, it's pretty good.
Its humor is different.
Yes.
Because there's an old expression in comedy. There are those that can open a door funny and those that can open a funny door. What that means is the new Ghostbusters very much was funny on paper. There were a lot of dirty jokes, stuff that, no offense to the women that were in it, because I thought they did very well and they were funny. But a lot of those jokes were kind of just basic stuff that anyone could make funny or anyone could laugh at. They were kind of lowbrow. Like, I think there was even a queef joke in there, I guess which side it came from, stuff like that.
And as for Chris Hemsworth, he's a good Thor. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but he's not one of my favorites, especially since my all-time favorite, Tom Hiddleston, plays Loki. So I'm more of the Loki bandwagon than I am Thor's.
Plus,
he plays an absolute idiot in this movie.
But it is one of the highlights.
Yes.
But his character is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Because Kevin,
oh boy,
every scene he was in, the jokes were all very obvious.
Yeah.
Their receptionist in the original, I love her. But it's not like they made it, the woman, I can't remember the woman's name that played her, but just her, the way she talks, you know, the way she acts.
And her style.
She doesn't have to be given a funny line or an over-the-top personality. She's just funny.
And who can forget Lewis?
And again, Rick Moranis is one of my favorite actors of all time. Again, he's going back to what I was saying. These four women in the new one, they were given a lot of kind of easy, kind of lowbrow type of jokes. It was very, I don't want to say screwball. Like, it kind of was a screwball comedy, whereas the original, for its time, could have been considered screwball and slapstick too. But they did their comedy in a different way. They could open a door funny. They could take the simplest thing and make it funny, and I'll tell you why. The moment when they're on top of the building.
Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the movie.
And if you haven't seen the original Ghostbusters, why are you watching this? Go see it. Live a little bit.
Like, literally, get off this video, pause this video, and go watch it.
There's no excuse. You could probably rent it right here on YouTube for like $2. Go do it.
$3, I think, with tax.
Netflix that shit, as they say. It's a good movie.
Actually, yeah, it is on Netflix right now.
It's a classic. You'll love it. Those, for one thing, it was actually written, as far as I know, those parts were written specifically for those actors. The only part that was not written for the actor that ended up playing it was Winston. He was originally, from what I understand, intended for Eddie Murphy. Love Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, awesome movie. His stand-up is classic.
I don't think he would have been that great for that part, though.
But maybe it's just because I've never seen it any other way. I couldn't imagine it being anyone other than Winston. I mean, what does he say at the end? I love this town! I mean, or city, whatever. But there's a moment when they're confronting Gozer where she asks,
She may, that whatever it is may have boobs. But that was definitely a combination of man and woman.
It asks Ray, "Are you a god?" And in one of my favorite moments in the movie, he kind of looks back at the guys and he goes, "No." That right there is a good example of how good of a comedian Dan Aykroyd is and the overall flavor of the movie. He took a single 2-letter word and made it, for me, one of the funniest moments in the movie with the way he delivered it. Or other little things, too, like when they're in the elevator and they're using their packs for the first time and they remember, we got friggin' nuclear accelerators on our back, and they move away. It's like little things like that. It's subtle, but it's so good at the same time. Whereas in the new one, it's kind of a little over the top. Still good, though. Don't get me wrong. If you're a kid, or if you have kids, definitely take them to see it. I think they'll like it. And if a whole generation of little girls grow up idolizing those four, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. And I will admit, other than Rick Moranis and Harold Ramis, everyone was in the new one.
Yep.
Dan Aykroyd, everyone. Even Sigourney Weaver showed up. It was great. And when we went, there was actually this guy in the front row. Every time someone he
cheered.
He was so happy to see it. It was great. And it was a fun experience. We've watched it twice because we did buy the DVD and I enjoyed it just as much then. Do I consider it a Ghostbusters movie? Yes, asterisk. Now, on a more positive note, I don't know how much longer we're going to keep this going, but we're on a roll here. I did verify my account so I can put up longer videos. Remember the old days when it was, like 11 minutes or something? Good thing it's not like that now because I really don't want to edit because I don't know how. Although it can't be that hard. There's one thing in 2017 I am looking forward to in the theaters. By the way, Link Perler beads.
I got those for his birthday.
This. First novel I ever bought. It's all beat up, as you can see, but I will always keep it. This is my favorite book of all time. And they are, unless you've been living under a rock, if you're a horror fan, you know they are currently in the process of editing and getting together the 2017 release of a new movie based on this book. Now, I do have the DVD for the TV movie here somewhere. I get it, but you all know what it looks like.
Plus, really, if you try to get anything out of his closet, that's gonna hit you in the head. So.
It was a recent purchase, so it's probably up front, but in my opinion, it is the best novel Stephen King ever wrote. And being a kid that was picked on a lot, felt secluded in a way from the popular kids and all that, it was empowering to me to see these 7 kids who no one cared about. Even their own families didn't really give a crap about these kids. I mean, Beverly's father was abusive. When Georgie died, Bill's parents didn't give a crap about him. Eddie's mother was a complete nutcase. You know, the only person whose parents, Mike, his dad, seemed like a cool guy, but he had Henry Bowers' father, Butch, on his back all the time. So
I was just wondering what you did with Zelda. I mean, Link.
For my birthday, she got a bunch of perler beads.
I got him Link, Zelda, the ocarina, the boomerang, and I think the fire rod.
So the fact that these kids came together and through their own willpower, their love for each other, their courage, their good nature, they formed a bond that enabled them to destroy the greatest evil that no one ever knew about, really. Or maybe the town did. Well, she and I have debated this quite a bit. Like, how much did the town know about its existence? Did it have a hold on everyone? Did the adults just, like, was it like once you became older, you became unaware of it? Like, kind of like a Santa Claus or a Tinkerbell type thing where you have to believe in it for it to be real? Or
there was one disappointing factor is in the book it mentions a turtle who is supposed to be like the creator of the universe or the universe itself.
That is a theme that's in a lot of Stephen King's books.
But in the movie, it doesn't mention it, which is understandable. You can't cram. That's why I tend to like books better than movies because you can't cram everything into the movie.
The TV movie does leave out a lot of stuff because it was just a 3-hour movie without commercials. And there's only so much you can do on television.
Yeah.
The book is very explicit. There are certain things, when they announced that the character of Patrick Hockstetter was going to be in this movie, I shit myself because he has one of the most gruesome deaths I've ever read in a book. And
you pooped your pants.
And I keep losing my train of thought here. I'm trying to be serious. So when I heard that his character was going to be in the movie, I was like, holy shit. But I wonder how far they're going to take the scene that leads up to his death. If anyone's read the book, you know that Henry... See, she didn't read the whole book. In the book, all I'm going to say is Henry Bowers is the character that I personally am looking forward to seeing the most in this new one.
You're talking about him.
Yes. This kid is fucked up. In the movie, he's just kind of a classic 50s greaser, you know. I mean, he does say the N-word a couple times, but he's very tame, which he had to be for the TV movie. And I mean, hell, he even when he tries to cut his name in Ben's stomach, he doesn't even pierce the skin, whereas in the book he cuts the whole first letter into his stomach. And then Ben kicks him in the balls, which is so awesome. If that moment better be in the movie.
You wouldn't think it was so awesome.
And I've been kicked there.
Yeah, that was kind of my fault. Long story.
Yeah, it could have been worse, though. But this kid, as messed up as Henry is, Hockstetter is 10 times worse because he might not be as sadistic. Well, no, any kid that would pull wings off of flies and stuff, that's kind of sadistic. But this kid also has a lot of homoerotic factors in his character. And it'll be interesting to see, because this movie is going to be R-rated. I think it's going as all out as it possibly can. So, and another factor, one scene that I almost don't want them to put in the movie, because on paper it's actually kind of beautiful, but on film it might be a little weird. There's a moment in the sewer It's been a while since I've read the novel. It's been several years. It's either before or after they kill it as kids, where they all copulate. I think that's the right word with Beverly. In other words, they all make love to her. Again, on paper, beautiful moment. It kind of solidifies them as a group forever. I know a lot of people, I think even Stephen King said he didn't really like that, looking back on it. So if that's not in the movie, I won't. But one thing that's got to be in it, I know a lot of parents won't like it because they're afraid their kids will try it. You remember that scene in the movie before they go to kill it, actually, as kids, they all take a hit off Eddie's aspirator. In the book, I believe after they come back out, they slice the palms of their hands with a Coke bottle and all hold hands, which is a beautiful moment, very symbolic. And I hope that part is in the movie because, again, that's one of those moments that really loses a lot of power in the movie. I could go on forever with the differences between the book and there is one thing about the original movie that I love to death, and I think everyone can agree, Tim Curry playing Pennywise the Clown. Tim Curry is fantastic in whatever he's in. Home Alone 2, the first thing I ever saw him in. Rocky Horror Picture Show, who can forget that?
Very annoying laugh, though.
He's in a great Tales from the Crypt episode, The Death of Some Salesman with Ed Begley. Is it Ed Begley Jr.? I think so. Fantastic. He plays like 3 separate characters at the same time. It's awesome. That laugh he's got. But Pennywise the Clown is probably, other than Rocky Horror Picture Show, it will probably be the thing he's most... I mean, he single-handedly probably made an entire generation afraid of clowns. With that said, Bill Skarsgård, I think that's how you pronounce his name, I think he's English. He is going to be at the helm for being Pennywise in this new iteration. When I first... a lot of people don't like the new look. I personally love it because Pennywise is supposed to be timeless. He's not really supposed to have a certain look about him. He's eternal. He even says so. I'm eternal. So they gave him kind of a Victorian look with the big white frilly thing around his neck. The hair, this is what I think. I think when he's trying to lure the kids in, like at the beginning, this is how I would do it. When Georgie comes up to the sewer to get his boat, when his boat goes down, he should be in there looking like a regular circus clown. Sweet, nice, pretty eyes to lure Georgie in and have a nice, sweet voice. But then when he starts talking, maybe have his voice change a little bit as it goes on. And right when he says, "You'll float too," or right before he says that and grabs Georgie's arm, have like a bolt of lightning hit because it's supposed to be during a storm and have him kind of change into that picture you've seen with the scarring paint and all that, and then have him. And again, I really hope if you're going to make a movie, you got to go all out. I know. I mean, it's already been filmed. They're editing it now. So what's done is done. I don't know either way whether they're going to do this or not. But if I made it, I would not hold back. I would show Georgie's arm being ripped right off his body. I know that sounds sadistic, but again, this story deserves to have as close an adaptation as you can possibly get. Now, they are changing a couple things about it. Instead of it being in the 50s and then in the present day, 80s was the present day for the story, the original book. The kid portion is going to take place in the 80s, which I think is really cool because all of us, I was born in 1986, she was born in 87, so we don't really have big memories of the 80s, but it always seems like 30 years ago from wherever you are now is kind of nostalgic for a lot of people. So I think a lot of people that go see this are going to like it. And when I saw the image of the kid that plays Henry, he looks great, by the way. He looks like a badass. Like, there's one image of him like lifting weights, and he's got a Pennywise tank top on. And if you don't know, Pennywise is a classic punk band from that time period, who I think I don't know if they got their name from the Stephen King book. I'd have to look that up, but they're called Pennywise. So it looks like instead of being a greaser from the 50s, he's going to be kind of like a punk kid, cut jeans, maybe spikes. There's a great promotional pic out there of him and his 3 cronies, like sitting on some like construction equipment or something like that, looking all shaggy, like the type of kids you wouldn't want to mess with. Kind of like the kids from the Lost Boys. Sometimes they come back, kind of that thug-like look where you just don't want to mess with me. You always have a switchblade in my back pocket type thing.
Was it before or after?
After what?
They make love to her.
What is?
When is it?
I know that's what I can't remember.
Do they kill it first or?
I don't remember. You go on Wikipedia and find out, but who wants to do that? Either way, it doesn't really matter. I highly doubt it's going to be in the new movie. So in general, though, I am so excited. 2017 is going to be an exciting year for several reasons. Nintendo Switch is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild's coming out. It is coming out. We're going to be getting married.
Yep.
September 18th of next year. Mark it on your calendar. Oh boy, it's been 45 minutes. See, I told you we could do this without stumbling all over ourselves. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about right now?
No.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap this up. Just so you know, I haven't really talked a whole lot about music.
We'll get there.
Yes, we will. The new Avenged Sevenfold album is out. I've not listened to it yet. I have it, thanks to her. I have heard the single, The Stage. It's amazing. I mean, maybe the best American metal band of this century. And you can probably tell by looking at my walls, my favorite band of all time is Iron Maiden. One thing I have debated doing for a long time, once I could get stuff set up, which obviously now I have, is maybe doing like once a day or once a week, take a Maiden album and review it, and then the next week do the next one. And then I've always kind of thought that would be cool. I'm sure there's thousands of videos of people doing the same thing. Maybe one day I'll show off my collection, but they are my favorite band.
We actually got to see them in concert.
I've seen them twice. I went
to my first.
Massachusetts in 2012 on the Made in England North American tour. I went with 3 buddies. So Alice Cooper was the opening act. It was fantastic. And then in Madison Square Garden earlier this year on the Book of Souls World Tour. Thanks to her, I bought the tickets, but she arranged, because we live in Maine, so it was a 6-hour bus ride down. We stayed in a hotel for a couple nights. Oh, amazing trip.
Yeah, we didn't want to leave.
That show was incredible. I'd never been in the Garden before. It was amazing. They killed it. Steve Harris's son, his band opened for them. I can't remember the name of the band, but they were good. They were really kick-ass. So it was one of the best days of my life. Probably her, too, because she got to go to the Central Park Zoo.
Yep.
We went to the top of the Empire State Building. Oh, all that stuff was great. So, and yes, everyone, she did just fart.
You'll probably hear a lot of that, too.
Boy, that sounded so fun. Other bands I love Pink Floyd. I love Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Queens of the Stone Age. There's also Enter Shikari, the Mars Volta, bands that a lot of people might not like as much, but
his whole collection.
That's not my whole collection.
Well, some of it. Those
DVDs you see right there are actually the Classic Albums series. It's a great show. I think it's British, where they take you into the studio and show you how some of the greatest albums ever were made. Fantastic. Let's see. So gaming, music, movies. I love TV shows. Some of my favorite TV shows. I love The X-Files.
We're watching MASH currently.
Law. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably put it in when we get done here. Lost, which I don't care what anyone says, the greatest show ever written in the history of television. I know that'll tick some people off, but it's amazing. And for anyone that doesn't understand that final ending, if anyone, not that anyone will comment on this, maybe, but if you ever wanted a video of me explaining why I like that finale, I would make it. And
just without me, because I haven't seen it yet.
That's another thing. If this does strike a chord with people, I don't even know what we're going to call this video, so if this does strike a chord with anyone and you want to subscribe, please do. It'll certainly boost our confidence.
Plus, as we go along, we're only going to get nuttier. I mean,
yes, and I just realized I sound a lot like Lars Ulrich from Metallica. You see, it's true. And you watch an interview with that guy. He's fairly intelligent. He sounds like he's trying to be intelligent. But every other word out of his mouth, I'm not kidding. He says like every other word. So if there's something like, if they're a comment, we'll try to keep tabs on comments and respond and
Yeah.
whatnot. But we both work full-time jobs, but they're starting to slow down now. We usually get the same days off together, so I'm sure at least here and there we'll try to answer comments if we get any. And we won't post, the videos will be totally up to whenever we feel like it. There might be a day where we want to upload 3, because we're bored and we just want to have some fun. Then a whole week may go by where we don't do anything on here, any activity. It's just, life gets in the way. Plus, right now all we're doing really is vlogging like this and talking. And if you have watched this whole video, by the way, you are amazing, because it's been 50 minutes as of right now. And yeah, this is exciting. We've never done this before, but she is the love of my life.
Aww.
I love her very, very much. And we just wanted to, this was more her idea, like, why don't we start doing this, So technically, if we're able to successfully upload this, which if you're seeing it, we have, will be my very first appearance on YouTube.
Be my second.
That's right. So if any of you are fans of Ron Mower out there, and you happen next month to see me hear me on his next Let's Play on the ST2K channel, sorry, Ronnie, but that will no longer be my first appearance on YouTube. Well, this will be physically. I don't appear physically in that, but so that's another, on the side, I might be, hopefully we'll be doing some videos with him on the ST2K channel. So that ought to be fun. Again, I won't say there's a specific series we're doing right now. I highly suggest you subscribe to him if you love classic gaming. And he's doing I won't tease it, because I know he tries to keep it hush hush. But on December 11th, I believe the vid's coming out. So it should be fun. I was so nervous recording that first part.
His hand was shaking.
Last night I recorded part 4. And he says he'll try to get me on another part here pretty soon, so that'll be cool. And we're going to be doing this.
Yep.
So
plus, I'll have my own channel, like I said, next video. Hopefully, I'll have everything set up. It'll probably be after the game comes out, because I can't do anything without it unless I start with a different game, which I can do that as well until Sun and Moon come out, and then I'll be going to those.
And most of my videos, if I make any by myself, will probably be discussion videos talking about music. Because I ask her, if I talk about something I'm really into, I could talk forever. Really. I don't know, like streaming-wise, I don't know how efficient I would be, like actually like seeing commenting on what I'm saying right now. Whereas this is easier, because it's not live. You know what I mean? I'm talking to myself right now, essentially. But, well, I am.
But I'm here, so you're not talking to yourself.
Well, I'm literally, I'm not even really looking at the camera. I'm kind of looking at myself.
Well, I think that's the point. I don't think you're supposed to just continually stare at the camera.
Well, yeah, because I'm talking to all the people out there. Hi, people, if I kind of look at myself. Hi. Hi. Hi.
This is the random stuff that if you continue to watch us, you will see.
Yes.
We will start off on a topic, and then 9 times out of 10, just go right off.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna shut this down, and like I said, anyone wants to even just checking this video out to see what it is, we appreciate it, because I never thought I'd ever do anything like this, and anyone would care. So if you check it out, awesome. If you want to leave a comment, let us know you watched. Even if you absolutely hated it and you think that my glasses make me look like a drag queen, go ahead, because at least you said something. The worst thing in the world is to have no one even notice, right?
My butt vibrated.
When we're at Portland Sea Dogs games, if she farts while we're sitting down,
oh yeah, bring that up.
The whole chair goes. All right, YouTube. I'm here finally after being a fan of YouTube for years. I'm finally here. So I'm finally entering the world of Google, I guess. Well, no, I've been part of Google for a while, but that goes to the bigwigs that have. I'm not even. That's another topic for another time. Anyone that has paid attention to some of my comments on some other videos knows how I feel about monetization, and I won't even get into that right now. So everyone, we love you all, even the haters. I love you more. Mwah. See you, everyone.
See ya.
It's still going. Oh, here we go. Live television, folks.
That was total fail.
Right, come on. I hate laptop touchpads.